It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, ADRIENNE LALLY and ATTILIO LEONARDI will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, ADRIENNE and ATTILIO.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any real estate questions, you can reach us at 799-9596. That's 799-9596, or on the web at teamlally.com, and that's Lally.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Attilio. I was down at the swap meet looking for some buried treasure. You know those people that sell stuff, and they're like, hey, what is this Picasso painting? Anyway, this lady came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, started asking me a bunch of tax and legal questions, and I said, those are great questions. I highly recommend you seek the appropriate licensed professional. And then I said, but Mom, what other questions do you have? So if you hear of anything on the show, if it sounds like tax advice, run it past the tax professional. If it sounds like legal advice, call the Attorneys with Heart.
That's Kane and Heron.
Kane and Heron. We got to get their number. But it's kaneandheron.com, right?
Yeah, kaneandheron.com.
All right, check them out. And because today we are realtors, and we're going to talk about real estate on Hawaii's only 1-hour real estate radio show.
All right, so we do start our show with some very special quotes.
We do?
Yeah, usually, you know, they're humorous.
Mm-hmm.
But today I've picked some quotes about smiling, and this is in honor of our guest that's going to be joining us.
Yes.
After the break.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one is from Thich Nhat Hanh.
Who?
I don't know.
Thich
Nhat.
That sounds Vietnamese.
Yes, probably is.
Okay.
All right, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy.
I think you got to read like nail technician, that quote. No.
All right, and then here's another one from Vin Scully.
Yep.
As long as you live, keep smiling because it brightens everybody's day. And then here's the last one. I enjoy jokes, smiling, and making people smile. I may be a little different, but that's okay. Who wants to be normal anyway? That's from Tim Duncan.
I thought you were going to say like Tyam Duncan or Tyam Duncan. No, Tim Duncan. Who is Tim Duncan?
I don't know, but he doesn't want to be normal.
I don't know. I look at it this way. What do we do before Google? We have to go to the library, do research.
That's right.
All right. So we have, do we have Hector? Do we got Gabe on the line?
For our VA Minutes.
Gabe, are you there? Gabe, are you there?
I think we need to turn the volume up.
Gabe, can you hear us?
I can hear him slightly.
Can you hear him? Gabe, can you hear us?
I can hear him it's like very faint. He sounds like he's far, far away.
Oh boy, from up here everyone looks like little ants.
Hello, Gabe, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
So, Gabe, with Hawaii VA Loans, you have a VA tip of the week?
Yeah, we got another one this week. So last week we talked about buying a multi-unit property with a VA loan. Well, we're going to talk about something similar. So say you wanted to buy a property that, you know, is like a single-family dwelling, but it has like an ahana unit, like a separate dwelling, maybe a studio, mother-in-law suite, some people call it. And, you know, you want to use that buying a VA loan, or even using non-VA to buy this, the conforming loan, FHA. This rule applies for all types of loans. We got to double-check first to make sure if that's a legal property. And let's say that this property was built in 1950. And back in 1950, the zoning allowed for you to build a separate studio or HANA unit. Well, say in 2014, the zoning law has changed, and they no longer allow you to have a separate studio on your property. Then this is considered a legal non-conforming property, okay? And what happens is, and every time we have a legal non-conforming property, the lender wants to verify that the property could be rebuilt as is in order to give you the money. Because what happens if the property burns down and you can only rebuild one unit, one property, one dwelling, you can't rebuild a second dwelling, then the lender is not going to feel comfortable with that because the property is not going to be worth as much. So real good tip is when you're shopping for properties and let's say there's something like a separate dwelling on the property, find out if this is a legal non-conforming property, because if it is, we have to go and get what's called a burn-down letter, and the city and county can supply this, stating that the property could be rebuilt as is in case of, fire or being destroyed. And if that's the case, then we're good to go. If they can't do it, we either can't lend on it or we can't count the value of the second dwelling. So a lot of things to digest right there, but just be careful when you're trying to buy a property with a second dwelling on that one parcel.
So Gabe, if you can get the burn down letter, then you'd be able to use your VA loan to purchase the home?
You can use your VA loan or any kind of loan, So this rule applies with any type of loan. It's not just a VA-specific rule. But again, the lender who's lending the money, they want to verify that the collateral, the property, can be rebuilt as is in case that it was destroyed. If they can't get that verification, then there's potential problems.
All right. And then you guys have a seminar coming up.
Yeah.
Yep. On June 25th. So we got it going on at Fresh Cafe in Kakako. So all you veterans there in the downtown area, go to our website, HawaiiVALoans.com, and you can RSVP for this free seminar. It's, again, June 25th, starting at 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and we'll just give you the lowdown of how the VA loan program works, the process, the benefits, and how to get started.
Now, June 25th, that's going to be this Wednesday, and today is Sunday, so it's never too late to RSVP, right? I mean, do you guys foresee getting booked up? Or maybe?
Well, the Fresh Cafe has a pretty good-sized space, so even if we had 30, 40 people, we could accommodate. So go ahead and register if you're interested in learning more about the VA loan program.
No, don't be local style and no RSVP and just show up, right?
Yeah, we might be able to take you in, too, if you do that, but we prefer you give us a heads up first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Gabe, for calling in, and you enjoy the rest of your weekend and have an awesome VA seminar there at Fresh Cafe.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. So, hey, folks, if you're listening to Gabe with the Hawaii VA Loans, their number is 792-4251. What's that number, Adrienne?
792-4251.
They've got a website, HawaiiVALoans.com. That's HawaiiVALoans.com. Give these guys a call. Every year they do a, I forgot what he called it, and I don't want to call it by the old name, but they do a CrossFit competition over at the Neil Blaisdell. They started in a park. And now their venue has grown so big that it's at the Neil Blaisdell Arena, and basically it's to raise funds for our veterans.
That's right.
And I think, I don't know, it was either $20,000, $30,000 is what they're getting up to as far as writing a check.
For their fundraising.
Yeah, for their fundraising for veterans. So if you can support them, they can support the veterans. And if you're a veteran yourself and you just want to get educated, they are very low-key. They are not hard sell at all. Go to their website, register for the class, and get educated about your VA benefits when it comes to buying a home.
All right. So we should have Duke Kim Han from Keller Williams Honolulu Property Management calling in here with his property management tip of the week.
Duke, are you there?
Hi, I am.
All
Good
right.
afternoon.
Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Duke. How are you?
Hi. You guys doing a marathon on the radio today?
We're doing a marathon on the radio every day, but so, Duke, you're with Keller Williams Honolulu Property Management, and your property management tip of the week is?
The tip of the week is don't get mad at the property managers for people who have pets.
Yes.
There seems to be a lot of move in and move outs, and a lot of the people coming in have pets.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So the inventory gets limited when you're looking for a pet-friendly home. It's very, very difficult and pretty competitive right now with the military coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a couple of people get impatient with the fact that they have pets and we couldn't find them anything that they liked. So, I mean, that's a big qualifier right there.
So, Duke, what would you say the percentage of rentals that are actually pet-friendly or the owners that they allow?
On the high side, 25%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got
on the low side, 15 or 20% allow pets.
So 3 out of 4 times you're going to be looking at rentals where they're not going to allow pets. You know what? I'm going to start building houses with ceramic tile floors, rubber walls, and fake grass yards.
Right. Well, a lot of the buildings now go on under 20 pounds or under 20 inches to the shoulder. That seems to be the common theme.
Yeah.
And then,
large dogs are having a really hard time finding a place.
Yeah.
now, aren't they going to be requiring extra pet deposits now, or like you guys are able to charge extra for the pet deposits at this point? Tell us a little bit about that.
As of November of last year, the laws have changed in Hawaii regarding security deposit, and now owners are allowed to charge up to 1 month security deposit as a pet deposit, so separately and on top.
Separately on top. So if I'm renting a place, it's $2,000 a month, and the regular deposit is $2,000. If I have a pet, or if I'm willing to, then I'd be willing to put an additional $2,000, so $4,000 deposit.
Yes.
Is that how the math works? Okay.
Wow.
So that would be a $6,000 move-in fee.
Hey, you know what? Just have a child, and your dog doesn't go off to college, so maybe it's less expensive to have a pet. But pets become part of people's families, and we met one lady. She's even thinking about selling her home because she has
a lot of parrots.
She has her pets, and she wants to take care of them, and we understand that, and we're compassionate towards that, and want to help her with that solution. But
when you have a lot of pets, I think it's very difficult to be a renter, and you got to consider maybe purchasing a home.
A home or getting out there where there's lots of space. But so if you give these people that are renters, one of the other things too is talk a little bit about a lot of people come from the mainland and think that I'll call up a realtor and a realtor is going to help me find a rental for me and my pet. How what are their misconceptions of that here in Hawaii?
Well, I mean, if you have something in your inventory, then it's really easy to help a prospective tenant, look for them a place that'll fit their needs. But in Hawaii, we do not have a system in place where there's compensation for the renter to get or hire a property manager to help them find a property.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when people come from the mainland, we let them know that, unless they're willing to pay a fee, to have an exclusive relationship where the property manager will work specifically for them, finding them a property.
Yes.
There's no compensation in that for the property managers, and that's why it's tough to get, most property managers to even answer their phone when the tenant's calling.
Yeah.
And I think as a tenant, that can be really frustrating, especially if they have that experience in another state where, that's just how they do things a little differently there, where the owner will pay that compensation of the first month's rent.
Yes.
To the realtor that's helping.
It's either 10% or a full month's management fees, or there's a set fee. I know on the East Coast, a lot of the realtors get set fees for finding rentals from the owner or the agent on the other side.
Yeah, so here we don't have anything set up, but we do have solutions. If you are a renter and you're looking and you need help, give us a call.
Sure, we can always work something out. And then there's people that have relocation services that will pay the finder's fees for you as you relocate to the islands.
Yeah, so know your relocation benefits, and we can help you to find them out. And Duke, what's a good number for them to give you a call at?
445-9223. 445-9223. And please remember, time is money. So if we can find you something quickly, it's you driving around and trying to figure out our street system here, which I don't know if we have one.
We don't. It's it is. It's you want to go past the mango tree we went cut down last year. Take a left at the 7-Eleven that's now a Starbucks, and then
you can also go to your website kwhipm.com.
.com.
And there should be the available inventory should be there as well. right?
I have another tip. If you're from the islands, you would know this. If you're not from the islands, you may not know this.
Yep.
That there was an article that listed 31 things that you're from Hawaii, you would know.
Yeah.
So one of them was shaved ice. If you're from Hawaii, you would say shave ice. If you're not from Hawaii, you would say shaved ice.
Shaved ice, like past tense? No, I don't want the past tense stuff. It's melted. I want current. Shave ice.
I just thought I'd add a little comedy to your show.
Well, you know, it's like in the mainland we say trash. Over here in Hawaii we say rubbish.
Rubbish. I know. That's right.
All right. Thanks, Duke.
Thank you. Duke. All right, we do need to take a quick break, but don't go too far. When we come back, we have a very special guest going to change your life forever.
All right, thank you.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
Hey, Adrienne, I was thinking about buying an investment property and renting it out myself. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Really?
No.
What? Why not?
Did you know that Hawaii law favors the tenant?
Really?
Yes, and if you end up in court and the tenant wins, you may be liable for triple damages.
Oh, no, I feel like Mr. Bill.
What I recommend you do is give Team Lally Property Management a call.
Why is that?
We have a guaranteed rent program.
Oh, really? What does that mean?
If we don't lease your home in 60 days, we'll pay the rent.
No way. If you don't lease my home in 60 days, you'll pay my rent?
Yes. If we don't lease your home in 60 days, we will pay the rent.
So, for more details, should I go to rentguaranteed.com?
Yes, that's rentguaranteed.com.
Or you can also call 445-9223. That's 445-9223. That's 445-9223. I hate those commercials that keep repeating the number. What's that number?
445-9223.
Oh, yeah, 445-9223.
In every real estate transaction, there is a virtual silent partner, the escrow company. They're there to make certain that the transaction keeps on track and that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
We like working with Hawaii Escrow and Title. They close our transactions on time with professionalism and aloha. We're happy to recommend Hawaii Escrow and Title for any escrow and title services, providing Hawaii's community with exceptional escrow and title services since 1972.
Check them out on the web at hetinc.com. That's hetinc.com. Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful.
We know that having a plan of action eliminates the stress.
And that's what we do. Get rid of the stress.
Here's one of our clients.
I think really the key to their success is the way they're able to communicate with their customers. I didn't have that the last time I used a realtor.
Hey, listen, are you confused, maybe even frightened when thinking about real estate? Well, here's a unique proposition. It's from Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally, Keller Williams. You know, Adrienne and Attilio, they offer a no-obligation guarantee. If they have not done their job, you're free to get out of your contract. You're not going to want to, though, because they'll sit down with you, establish a price and deadline to sell your home, and if the deadline passes and the home isn't sold, they're going to buy your home. Just listen to this. This is Ocean Point in Eva Beach. Adrienne listed the home, and 4 days later, before it was even shown physically to anyone, she had a full-price offer. Now, how has this happened? Because the team provided a video tour through the home, not just some slideshow, but an actual video tour. And the video tour told the buyers all they needed to know. Sellers love these guys. So working with Adrienne and Attilio doesn't obligate you to anything. If they're not doing their job, they're going to let you out of your contract, and they'll do it free and clear. So why not call the only agent willing to earn your business every single day? Team Lally, 855-KHVH-830. That's 855-KHVH-830 or online at guaranteedsale.com. That's guaranteedsale.com, and start your packing now.
The following program was recorded earlier for broadcast at this time. When phone numbers are given, please do not call. We invite you to sit back and enjoy the following encore presentation.
Welcome back. This is Adrienne.
And this is Attilio.
And you're listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions regarding real estate, give us a call at 799-9596 or visit us on the web at teamlally.com, and that's LALLY.
Well, hey, everybody. We're excited to have a guest on the show. He's a author, motivational speaker. You have an intro there, Adrienne?
Yeah, I pulled this from his website,
okay,
DarrylDavisSeminars.com.
Mm-hmm.
But we brought him on today to talk about his new book that he's just released.
Yeah, How to Design a Life Worth Smiling About.
Developing success in business and in life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to give a quick background on him.
Sure.
So what began as a way to support his acting career later became Darryl's true passion and lifelong mission. Darryl became a real estate agent at the age of 19 and quickly climbed the ladder to become a top producer, averaging 6 transactions a month. Then he became a licensed broker and manager of a new office and became the #1 listing and selling branch within the first 6 months of operation.
Yeah.
So he's done well in the real estate industry, and he became a coach and author, and now we have him here joining us on our show talking about his new book.
All right, Darryl, are you there?
I am so here.
All right.
All right, thanks so much for calling in and being on our show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. From New York, we say aloha.
Aloha. Yeah, I know people walking down the street drinking coconuts.
That's right. New York is a little Hawaii over here.
Yeah, I think you came to visit us a few years back, and we got to meet you at I think you were a speaker at our
convention,
state convention
for our board of realtors, and that was awesome. You're a very compelling speaker. I really enjoyed that session.
Thank you.
And anything else you want to add to your introduction that we should know about? Any other interesting factoids?
I think I think you did a great job. Thank you. I started to think, boy, I sound really good.
Well, we got your book and we started to read it, and I know that I was really enthralled with your introduction and the fact that at age 16 you were on your own.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for reading the introduction. You know, most people skip over that because they want to get to the end of the book to see how it ends.
Yes.
You know?
And I know you talk about that. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for doing that. Yeah, it was a challenging childhood I had. My dad passing away when I was 14. My mother, going through a tough time because of that. And so, long story short, I became an emancipated minor at 16, which basically meant I was treated as an adult. I had my own apartment, putting myself through high school, working 3 jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the reason I asked that question. I think it's important for our listeners to put into context, the information that you're sharing with us today, and how you're your own best product of what you're teaching, and how to we can make excuses, or we can lift ourselves up and move on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I think a lot of people, when they go through breakdowns at any point in their life, whether it's their childhood or even as an adult, that there's a relationship ending or you lose your job, you have an opportunity to a breakdown can equal a breakthrough.
Yes.
And you can actually become stronger because of that.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, during the 40s and 50s, the test pilots in the armed forces, their job was to actually take a new plane and push it beyond its limits to find a breakdown in the machinery of the plane, so the scientists and engineers can create a breakthrough from that. So. All
right. So you're helping us re-engineer the human.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah.
But all right, so let's get into your book here, and Adrienne's got some questions.
Yeah, so tell us why did you decide to write this next book of yours, Darryl? What was the motivation?
As you started to talk about in the intro, that after being a successful real estate agent for about 20 years, I was training real estate salespeople on how to be successful. And the thing about real estate agents, and this is true about any sales profession that you know you have to be a self-starter, and if you don't feel like working a particular day, then and you don't go into the office because you let your feelings take over,
yes,
you're not going to generate money that day.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about any sales profession is you have to be a self-starter. You have to really go from breakdowns to breakthrough. You really have to push yourself. And so as a speaker and trainer, I didn't realize that that was maybe a training ground for me to really understand how to help human beings succeed overall.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the 20 years, my commitment always has been to agents to have their lives work. So it wasn't just about their business. You know, I wanted their, because I know that, and you know this as being realtors yourself, that when your personal life is not working, it does impact your business life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There really isn't a distinction between business, personal, and family. If one of those three is not working, it impacts the others.
Yeah.
So I always tried to keep that in mind in training salespeople, that it wasn't about just listing and selling. It was about, you know, having the whole human being work. And so that's why I wrote this book, because I realized after 20 years that, gosh, this is probably something that anybody can benefit from.
Yeah. And we were reading, I think it's right here on the next page, but you know, you talk about how, and we, it's so intuitive what you're mentioning, and you're like, well, why should we read a book about it? And I like what you said about, you know, about like motivational seminars, and I'm going to read it verbatim. It feels good. It feels good at the time, but it never lasts. And then I like how you quote Zig Ziglar, and that is, he taught me a lot of things never last, like taking a shower.
Yeah.
There are some things that you just have to do over and over in order to continue reaping the full benefit.
Yeah.
So we were talking about it on our last show to promote this show, and we said that by taking a shower and listening to motivational tapes, you're helping with your odor and your aura not be so stinky.
And people around you appreciate you for doing that.
Yes, you're going to smell good and not be suffering from stinking thinking.
That's right.
Well, I love that. I wish you had told me that before I actually went to press. I would have squeezed that into the book. That's pretty good.
I tell you, we are so punny over here.
Maybe on the reprints.
But so let's delve a little bit more into your book. Adrienne and I, with our team, by the way, I just want to give you some background. I learned this a long time ago from wealthy and successful people, and I think this quote's from Colin Powell, and they asked him how you got out of the ghetto or from an average home to become the top ranking officer in the military as an African American, and he said, I read my way out. And leaders are readers and readers lead, and so as a team, we're always, every week we meet together, and it's to cover about 5 or 10 pages of the current book that we're reading as a team. And as long as you're on our team, you will always be reading a book with our team, and we'll always have a book that we go to. So thank you so much for providing us the next book that we're going to be reading as a team. So let's talk more about your book.
Sure.
Adrienne, you had some more. Well, she's got a list of questions too. We're going to go back and forth between the book and your list of questions.
Well, you know, I really enjoy all of your video postings and their little snippets, I think, from the book. And then I think the most recent one you had was to be present to the moment.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was just, I think, just yesterday.
I'm sorry,
right?
I was watching a YouTube video. What are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe you should watch my video.
So you can you can subscribe to your updates on your video blogs, and also be friends with you on Facebook to be able to get these great tips of videos.
Yeah, if anybody is interested, as far as your audience is concerned, there's no subscription. It's free. And I do these videos 3 times a week on Facebook, and then we post it on YouTube. My handle is Darryl Speaks, Darryl Speaks, and that's with an S at the end. So YouTube would be Darryl Speaks, and Facebook, and LinkedIn, and Twitter. It's all the same thing.
So we can subscribe to your channel, your YouTube channel.
Yes.
You can subscribe to them all around, everywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So in the book itself, I was reading the intro, and then it said you gave some tips on how to read the book, and I like that. So I didn't want to do a disservice to your book, so I'm going to do it the way that you're saying to do it. Because you know what? This is what I learned about being successful and successful people. They just roll the wheel. They don't reinvent it. Follow the formula.
Yeah.
For success. And so the first part, and I like the fact that you talk about just smiling. A lot of people do. Our team policy, if you're grumpy, we don't want to work with you.
That's a great policy.
Because it's like there's just too many nice people to work with.
Yeah.
And, granted, if somebody's stuck in a position and we've committed to them and maybe they were nice in the beginning and they get grumpy, we'll still we'll still hang in there. But I know one of the chapters you talked about was just how to turn around grumpy people. But let's talk about...
I want to hear about that. How do you turn around grumpy people?
Yeah, give us a tip. Give us 2 or 3 tips on how to turn around grumpy people.
Well, sure. There's actually several in the book on that chapter, and one of them is to think, most people think of relationships as 50-50, especially if you're married or you have a significant other.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing when you come from that philosophy is whenever the relationship's not working, it always seems to be the other person's 50%.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found really works in relationships is 100%, 0%.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that you take, not that you're 100, like if there's an upset, not that you're 100% wrong, but be 100% responsible for how the relationship works.
Yes.
Because if you take that attitude, you now have the power to have a breakthrough and get through whatever challenge there is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zig Ziglar said it this way. So when you have a finger pointing out as to why your life's not working, you have 3 fingers pointing back to a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that turn grumpy people around is to look at, well, maybe they're just being who they are, and it's how you look at them that has them show up as grumpy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if there's like a car accident, people can interpret the car accident in a different way because their point of view is different.
Yes.
And the same is true about a person. One person may say that person's grumpy, and another person may say, no, I think they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the person or is it how it's being looked upon? The other thing is actually what really does help turn grumpy people around is be committed to making them smile.
Mm-hmm.
I had a situation where we were at Disney, and I won't go through the whole thing. It's actually in the book, and it's a little bit of a long story. But we went to the ticket counter, and it turns out we didn't have the right ticket. We couldn't get into the park.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started playing with the ticket lady where we were, when I say we, it was my fiancé and I.
Yeah.
And we started saying, well, oh, come on, this is a magical moment, and we believe in Tinkerbell, and we were just playing with this woman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we were making her laugh a little bit. So she said, no, you have to go all the way back somewhere, which would have taken us another 30 minutes. So as we started to walk away, the woman calls me over, and she said, excuse me, sir, come over here. So I walk over to her, back to her, and she said, where are you from? And I said, New York. Why, am I in trouble? So I got nervous, And she started clicking on her keyboard, and then she handed me 2 free tickets into the park, not just for the Disney park, but for all of the parks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so what was amazing about that is instead of me taking this attitude like, she should be nice to me and she seemed a little grumpy and she wasn't being helpful, I turned it around. I said, you know what? This woman, I'm committed to making her smile.
Yes.
And it was in the process of me giving her the gift of smiling that her grumpiness went away, and we wound up getting 2 tickets. So anyway.
We run across that all the time. And Adrienne, what do we call it?
The power of nice.
The power of nice.
I love it.
And it just, when you're, especially, I look at it, and I'm kind of probably got the same attitude you have. These people are in the service industry. They're probably dealing with pissed off people all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can be that little ray of sunshine, whether they do something for you or not, and I'm sure that was your attitude. You were just trying to be nice to this lady. We make a pretty good living in this real estate thing, and and these people in the service industry, they're probably getting their butts chewed at least once a day just because they're in the service industry, and it's good to be that little ray of sunshine.
Yes, Attilio uses the power of nice to get out of tickets.
Oh, yes. I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Officer pulled me over. And I roll the window down. I take my sunglasses off. I shut the music off. I pull off far enough where their butt's not hanging out in the middle of the road. And as soon as they come up, I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he's like, they always ask you that question, what'd you do wrong? And I said, was it the M16s and the ammo and the dead body in the trunk that I was transporting across state lines and it's going at 80 miles an hour and I totally blew through that stop sign? Was that it? No, I didn't say that to him, but I just said I'm not sure, and he kind of went through the explanation and was asking for the stuff, and I just was apologetic and yes, sir, yep, I know you're just doing your job, and I'm so sorry. And he was trying to work up to reading me the riot act, but I just was not argumentative. And then what did he say, Adrienne?
Okay, well, I'm going to let you off with the warning. Drive slowly here, please.
Yes.
Well, actually, this is the sales guy in me. Last time I got pulled over, I rolled down my window. I looked at the officer, and I assumptively looked at him and smiled, and I said, "Officer, I want to thank you so much for pulling me over to give me a warning so I don't do that again." And so he laughed, and that's all I got was a warning.
Oh, awesome.
The assumptive close. I love it.
Wow.
That's right.
I think next time try that one.
Well, I did get a jaywalking ticket one time, and he was writing it up, and I said, well, guess what? Now that you have all my contact information, my dad always told me to make lemonade out of lemons. If you ever need anybody to help you with your buying or selling needs, I hope you keep in mind, because even in
your jaywalking realtor,
in a negative situation here, I can remain calm and cool, and I'll help you, negotiate that deal next time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, so Adrienne, another question there, or?
Oh, I mean, I just had pulled up some different things that are part of the book that will help you, right? So we have to identify negative automatic thoughts and take control of them.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's that whole chapter about automatic thinking, which is that little voice that talks to us constantly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells us, what to think about our relationships with the people we work with, relationship with money, and it could be pretty loud, that voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, that they were, upset about something, and they were just running off about it, and it seemed like they always have the same kind of upset over and over again. And sometimes we know people like that, where they keep getting into the same bad relationship over and over again, and they always vow never to do it again. And there's this automatic way of being that we have about certain things. And so the book, it tries to helps a person get clear about what is that automatic thinking that's holding you back from being extraordinary, having a life worth smiling about. And so there is that process in the book to help identify what it is, so that way, once you know what that automatic thinking is, then it'll stop controlling you so much.
Okay.
So having those positive affirmations you tell yourself.
Now, I like in the beginning of the book, you talk about the chemicals that create feelings like alcohol and marijuana. No. That's not what you have in the book.
Does he have that in there?
No.
They're all natural ones.
Can we go through that acronym that you have here, DOSE? D-O-S-E? Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts. Actually, the book is broken up almost like into two sections. It's not clearly defined, but the first, chapter 1, there's so much about the science of smiling.
Yes.
And and like I said in the book, a lot of people will be like, "Really, a book about smiling? Yeah, I don't need a whole book on that. Let me just smile more." But it took me 2 years researching. How powerful smiling is and how it impacts relationships and success and money. And the DOSE, the acronym, there was a study done in Germany where just taking the muscles and doing the act of smiling actually can increase the chemical in the brain that's associated with feeling good and joy and happiness. What is happiness? What is joy? When you really think about it on a scientific level, it's chemicals in the brain.
Yes.
And there's so many studies that have proven that when we smile, those chemicals that are associated with feeling good is increased. And those chemicals are, which you just said, DOSE, D stands for dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
O is oxytocin. S is serotonin, and E is the endorphins.
Yes.
So every time the brain wants dose, the brain wants those four chemicals. And I know you were joking about the marijuana and but it is true that when we don't have those chemicals, we'll search ways to getting them. You know, we'll go to the doctors, we'll get a prescription, or we'll try and self-medicate. So the book tries to go through the second part of it, is how to give yourself a dose without those, bad things in our lives.
Yes.
So, but yeah, those four chemicals, dose, and the whole acronym, and to me was one of my favorite parts about the book.
Now we've known about oxytocin. I watch a lot of the TED Talks, and I don't know if you're familiar with those, but
sure.
One speech was just about oxytocin, and he says and he was a PhD scientist, and he says, they tried creating the actual chemical, but it's not very stable. If they were to squirt some in a vapor form, it would break down almost immediately. And so just like the effect in your blood system, he says you can stimulate oxytocin, and you talk about it in your book in other, with the crowd, with being in a concert, but just by being nice around people or giving someone a hug or a smile.
Or a Facebook like.
Or Facebook like.
Right.
Nobody liked my posting. I'm sad. Oh, I got 2 likes.
Well, especially for salespeople, too. I just did I have the keynote seminar, which is the same title as the book. Mm-hmm. And I just did it a few days ago for Real Estate Board, and there was about 500 people there. And I never said this before, and it just came out that in sales, how important that smile is, because one of the other studies that I found, which I did talk about in the book, is that when you smile or even see photos of people smiling, human beings, we at least 50% of the time, we smile back.
Yes.
So when you smile to somebody else and it causes them to smile, they have an increase of oxytocin, which is the chemical associated with bonding with other human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So literally what happens when you give the gift to somebody else and smiling, it causes them to bond with you. And this is why it's so important in our industry of real estate that we do smile, because it's a way of breaking down the barriers and connecting with another human being. Even on the telephone, that smile can come through. And,
yes.
One of my favorite singers, I was just talking about this with somebody, was Dean Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to this man, you don't have to see it. You can hear the man smiling as he's singing, which makes the song sound so much better. You get so connected to it. So,
speaking of smiles,
yes,
I'm looking at your jacket cover. I don't know what your thoughts are when you took that picture, and you have it's not like a full teeth smile, but it's I don't know. I mean, I wanted to share this with you. When I see that smile, I'm thinking, Darryl's got a secret, and he wants to share it with me. So,
it's the secret about smiling.
Good look at the picture.
He's got some big dimples too.
Yeah. I call it the knowing smile. You know something, you got a great big secret, and you want to share it with us, and it's all good stuff, and we want to know what it is. Anyway, that's how I'm interpreting your.
And our listeners want to know what it is. And do you have a website for your book?
Yes. What's your
Darryl?
website?
I know you have your seminar website.
It's also DarrylSpeaks.com.
Oh, okay, that's easy. DarrylSpeaks.com.
Yes, if people just remember Darryl Speaks, they'll find me everywhere.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna go stalk you.
Okay.
And all right, so you've got. I was looking at all the different chapter headings. We kind of jumped to that one about
the grumpy people,
reverse polarity, turning negative people into positives. You're mentioning that 100% zero. I don't know if you mentioned it the last time you were speaking here, but I know I've heard other speakers mention that, and there was like a bank that had that.
100% accountable, 0 excuses.
So, Adrienne, tell Darryl, what is the thing that we say to end all our team meetings?
Yeah, so at the end of every one of our team meetings, the whole team, we get up And we all say,
stand up.
100% accountable, 0 excuses, and then we have our little clap that we do together in unison.
In unison. So that's how we end every single meeting, and I tell the staff, hey, if you think I'm programming you, yes, I am.
Well, that is so awesome. I feel like, that how that expression goes, that great minds think alike. I didn't know that about your team, and I think that's awesome that that you guys have that philosophy. That's great.
I'm scanning through your book here, page 23. Smiling helps you live longer.
Yes, this is one of the other. I just love the studies part. I'm not into science. You guys have seen me speak,
yes.
And I'm half motivational speaker and humorist and stand-up comedy. So I'm not very analytical, but I really got wrapped up into these studies. They were so cool. There was this one study where they actually measured people's blood pressure. We've all heard that laughter reduces stress and makes you healthier, blah, blah, blah. Well, just the smiling, they found that when you smile more, you actually, because of the increase in chemicals, the dose, you're actually healthier. So what I did, and I actually did a video on this on Facebook, I did it like I recorded the whole process, is I took my blood pressure, and I have good blood pressure to begin with, but I wasn't smiling the first time that I did it. I frowned, actually. And then I took the blood pressure again, this time smiling the whole time. And my blood pressure literally went down.
Wow.
I told a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, who has some health issues, he said he decided to try it himself. So when he was driving to the doctor's office, he consciously smiled the whole time, and his numbers came in the best that they had ever come in. So now obviously you can't smile 24/7, but if you do that enough, it does, and there have been actual studies of people's longevity based on smiling, and the science shows that on the average, people who smile more are happier, and their life expectancy is 7 years longer than people who don't. So.
Yeah, because, I don't know, there isn't a whole bunch of grumpy people at the old folks' home, because they're all dead. No, only the happy ones are there. And you have a bolded line in here. Humans can detect a smile from more than 300 feet away. Wow.
Well, because that page there, we're talking about that regardless of the language, wherever you are in the world. So if you're somewhere where you don't speak that language, whether it's what's the word I'm looking for? Arabic-Japanese? I can't say it.
But I know what you're talking about.
But any culture, even if you don't understand the language, that's one human trait that we all worldwide can relate to. When somebody smiles, we know what that means, and it can be recognized that far away.
Yeah, it's not like, if in America, if we shake your hand, it means a loving embrace, and if you go to like a Middle Eastern country, it means they want to kill you, but the smile is universal.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
Everybody can relate to the smile, and again, that's what we call that power of nice.
Yes.
You had mentioned that smiling can help you with your negotiations too.
Absolutely.
And I totally get into what you said in the beginning. You said it. You said, "What? Oh, a book about smiling? Are you serious?" In that, and we've always said, and you said it differently in your book, but how I remember it is, knowing is not enough. We know what we need to do, but do people do it? No. Eat right, exercise, brush your teeth, smile.
It should be added to that list.
So it's added.
I think as human beings, and again, I talk about that in the book too, that when, and we had some copyright issues, like I wanted to put this in the book, and my publisher, McGraw-Hill, made me take it out, but we actually had photos in the book of sonograms. Of children that weren't born yet, right? And they actually were smiling.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then because it wasn't my baby and I couldn't get it signed off, we couldn't print those visuals. But, when I saw that in my research, it was like, you know what? Like a ton of bricks hit me that who we are as human beings is genetically designed to smile. Like that, I don't think when we were born on this planet, we were born to be struggling, broke, worried, and freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
I think our lives are supposed to be worth smiling about, that we have strong relationships and that we're not stressed about money and stressed about our jobs. And yeah, so that was what I was committed to in this book, is to help people have a breakthrough in that area.
Well, just like in everything, when you're having such an awesome time flies by because you're
having so much fun.
When you're in great company.
That's right.
With Darryl. So we're down to our last 2 minutes. If anything, I want you in our last 2 minutes for you to cover with us. You talk about your concept of distinction.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
That's wow. That's a great question.
That's a long question. No.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Yes, I can do it in less than a minute and a half. I think it's great that you actually picked up on that. What a distinction is that when you get a distinction, you don't look at your life the same way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
An example of that would be when you first learn how to ride a bike. What empowers you to ride the bike is not the knowledge of bike riding. It's not gravity or the knowledge of gravity or how to move your legs. You get this intangible distinction called balance. And once you get balance in your life, it doesn't matter. You don't have to ride a bike for 40 years. You can still get on a bike and ride it.
Mm-hmm.
So your life is literally altered once you get balance. And so there's the same concept about how you see the world and how you see your life. And so throughout the book, I try to create distinctions that once people get balance, if you will, they'll start to look at their lives, their relationships, their work differently. So that's what a distinction is.
Well, great. We're looking forward to you helping us create more distinctions in our life.
That's right.
Cool.
and our listeners. So you can go to DarrylSpeaks.com and find out more about Darryl Davis and his new book. It's also on Amazon.com as well.
And it's called
as a matter of fact, if people just type in my name, Darryl Davis, Darryl, there's two R's in spelling that, in Amazon, I pop right up on the first look, and they'll see the Smile book. Yeah.
So Darryl is the author of How to Design a Life Worth Smiling About, Developing Success in Business and in Life. Darryl, thanks so much.
Yes, thank you, Darryl, so much for being on our show today. And
thank you for everything that you guys do for the real estate industry and being the leaders that you are, making a difference in people's lives, or helping them get from point A to point B. That's pretty awesome and special, so thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, Darryl. We're looking forward to meeting up with you in person again sometime in the future.
Yes.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Darryl.
All right. Okay, well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Denise Kaehu with Hawaii Escrow and Title.
Gabe Ame and Jim Owens of Hawaii VA Loans and Home Loan Financial.
Mike Metz with Kama'aina Termite and Pest Control.
Bradley Maruyama of Allstate Insurance.
Marcelo Teixeira with Spots Cleaning and Maintenance.
Matt Fortier of Fidelity National Title.
Jody Tonga and Derek Tonga of Pacific Ring Mortgage.
David Kane of Kane and Heron, the attorneys with hearts.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com, check out our business partner page under our link section.
And we also want to give a big thank you to Hector, our producer here in the studio.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We're going to have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life forever.
This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.